Hello everybody, I'll be getting on with sowing some seeds in a couple of minutes. I just want to tell you about this. This is my thermostat for my bench propagator, and what's happened is the probe that I normally put in the sand under here to keep the temperature steady, has the plastic around the wires has decayed and it's just become all brittle and broke away, and one of the wires has snapped. Rather than attempting a repair, I bought a new one, so I need to fit that because as that it was throwing an error in this and it wasn't heating, and I didn't find this out until a couple of mornings ago, and I've lost some plants really. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you can see aubergines here, and these are all my spare peppers. They don't look, the aubergines don't look particularly brilliant, and a lot have literally just died away. And they had sort of damping off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sow again. These peppers don't look too bad, but I'm not going to use them because they've been in here and they've had a cold shock. I've got more peppers on the propagator in the kitchen in there, and I will use those, pot those on probably tomorrow when this is heated up some more. What I did manage to do was I've got another propagator out here, plug that in, and I've managed to save some of the chilies. I don't want to be sowing them again at this time of the year, so I'll chance it with that and see what happens with them. I'm not overly concerned if they don't come, because we don't eat a great deal of chilies anyway, but I just wanted some very mild chilies for the flavouring, and yeah, we'll see where we go. So I've got aubergines to sow today as well, but I've got a little caveat for that as well. So anyway, I'll get this changed over and then I'll get sowing some seeds. Right, so that thermostat's changed over now. That heated propagator bench will heat up over the next 24 hours, and then we're back to normal. Now, before I go on, yes, this bush is still here, but I have fetched up from the allotments yesterday these ginormous things. Its days are numbered, that's going down. And incidentally, all that foliage won't be wasted, it's going in a friend's hugel culture bed. So that's all going to a good cause. So I'm going to sow some seeds. First of all, as many of you will know, I always want to sow, sieve some compost. It's just my belief that sieving the compost is much better for the seeds, especially if you're going to be pricking seeds out to pot on, which is the first two I'm going to do today. I've got a couple of flowers here, a Shasta Daisy, which is a daisy. They're about 3-inch blooms on it, nice long stems, so they're great for cut flowers. And the other one is like a bedding plant. It's Virginia stock, so just sieve that off. Doesn't take long. What's that taking? 30 seconds? Brilliant. That can go in the trug. And I'm just going to fill up a half seed tray just to save the space. I'll lightly tamp it down with my hand. Watering overhead as well will also help settle the compost as well. So there we go. All I'm going to do is put a seed label in the middle just to divide the tray up, and then basically just sow the seeds and cover them in some compost. It doesn't have to be time consuming, it will take forever. Just get them in and they'll be off and doing. Now, I sowed some marigolds the other day this way, and they're already up and out of the soil, so that's a very good result. I'm going to put a label in before I forget. That one was Shasta Daisy, this one Virginia stock. The marigolds are already out the ground. The sweet peas are out to the soil as well, so I should be moving them on this week. There we go, very quick, no messing around. Sowing the seeds and then just lightly cover them like so. Job done, and on to the next one. Now, which one shall I do next? Right, I'll do this lot next. These are all brassicas, and again I'm using a half seed tray, so I'll just fill that up. And again, I'll be pricking these out, so sieved compost again. Doesn't take too much messing around. Now with these, I'll get the camera in close so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Right, this is what I call furrow sowing, and I'm using a piece of glass here, which is probably not ideal, but I've used this for a few years now. Never cut myself yet. Shouldn't say that, should I? And I'm just making some little furrows in this little tray, because each one will house a different variety. So there we go, 6 furrows. I'll write some labels, bring it back and sow the seeds. So these are all brassicas. Now you'll find with brassicas that you can sow them at such low temperatures you can actually get away with murder with them. You don't need a propagator to get them going. If you use a propagator to get them going, you won't get no harm from doing that. You just get them coming up faster. That's about all. And if you bring them on, once they've germinated, if you bring them on in a propagator, they'll just grow faster and you'll have bigger plants sooner. I don't do that. Always in a tray, and then I'll leave them on the bench here in the greenhouse or wherever down at the polytunnel. That one was Chard, by the way, rainbow chard, Swiss chard. This one is Cauliflower Igloo. And what I will be doing is I always have a nursery bed for brassicas, generally in the polytunnel. Can be done outside as well, no problem with that. As long as you've got temperatures between 5 and 10 degrees, you can sow brassicas really easily. As I say, it's up to you, it's your choice how you want to start them off. But this is one of these veg, and it's so varied and there are so many varieties. One of these things that if you haven't got a greenhouse, if you haven't got a polytunnel or propagators or lights, it's one of these things that you can get a good crop from. You can grow cabbages and cauliflowers and Brussels sprouts and kales, chards. I mean, it's endless. There are so many varieties that you can grow. So this one's a broccoli or a Calebrese, and it's just fantastic. And they can all be grown. You can sow these direct, probably within a couple of weeks' time, I would think, and they'll grow, and you'll just thin them out. But I like doing this because this saves me space. I could individually sow them straight into modules, straight into a module tray, similar to one of those. Fill them up with compost and put one or two seeds in each. Could do that, but the space saving is massive. So there's 6 varieties here. This one is Cabbage Primo. I'll just fill it up and then just cover them over, and then I'll water them. You can water them 2 ways, in a tray underneath or over the top. I'll do both for this tray as it's a new one. So that's Chard Rainbow, Cauliflower Igloo, Kale Red Russian, Autumn Calebrese, Kale.Dwarf Green and Cabbage Primo. Now, as I say, that's 6 varieties, and if you were going to put them straight into module trays, can you imagine the amount of space you would need to take up? There you go, that's just my little thing, and I do like to save the space, especially at this time of year when sowing is so mad. Right, I filled up a module tray with compost, and I'm multi-sowing in these, in this one today. Normally if I was just sowing 1 or 2 seeds per tray, only wanted 1 plant, I wouldn't bother compressing it, because your plants need air around the roots as well, and there's no problem with filling the module tray, filling each cell with each plant, and then move it on if you need to. But as I'm multi-sowing, I've squashed it all in and put another layer on, and then just using my homegrown dibber, just made some holes. And I'm sowing two things into this one tray. I've got some bunching onions here, the Ishikura, and I've got some beetroot here, and I just want 3 or 4 seeds in each cell really of these, and the same with the Ishikura. I just want small bunches of spring onions. I mean, the Ishikura is a straight onion, so to speak, what they call a bunching onion, as opposed to a spring onion, but I get on with it much better than I do sort of like the infamous white Lisbon. And I said last year, and I'm sticking to it as well, that I'm not going to sow multi-sow beetroot, the main crop of the beetroot. I'm going back to the old-fashioned way of sowing them direct, straight into a prepared drill on the soil, because I found it doesn't work very well for me. So it's a personal choice. I know it works well for a lot of people, but I'm multi-sowing here, which is, you know, contrary to what I've just said, because these are going in my companion planting bed, and I think it'll just look that much better from a foliage point of view, which is essentially what I'm doing with these. So there we go, that's as simple as it gets. Just label those up and water them from above and below. Watering from above settles the compost, and from below it draws up, it wicks. So there we go. Right, the last one I'm going to sow now is, because the thermostat and the propagator broke, I need to resow my aubergines. So a little tray again, because this will go on my propagator in the kitchen when I've pricked the seedlings out of here, which is again why I'm using sieve compost. Just comes out so much easier. Then they can go in here. Now this is fairly interesting. It's not something I've noticed before. I've grown this variety of aubergine before many years ago, and then I switched to Moneymaker because I found I was getting better quality fruits and better quality plants. Well, this came free with a magazine. This is Aubergine Black Beauty, and on the back it's got the line, and it says the large purple black fruits are ready to crop in as little as 78 days from sowing. That's like 11 weeks. That's phenomenally quick. So the fact that I'm now behind with my aubergines because of the propagator going wrong, we'll give these a shot. Now there's not many seed in here. It's a freebie off the packet of a magazine, so you never get many in there, but there's probably going to be enough, because I don't really want a lot of plants really. I just end up growing a lot of plants because seeds are so numerous in packets that you buy. So I shall water that from top and bottom, get it on the propagator in the kitchen, and we'll see. It's going to be an interesting experiment, because I say normally I sow my aubergines and peppers at the start of the year, and I need that longer season to get fruits out. So we'll see what happens with this. But anyway, that's it for this video. There's about 11 or 12 varieties sowed there. Hasn't taken very long at all, even with the compost sieving and messing around writing labels. Hasn't taken a great deal of time at all. I like to take my time anyway, so more than happy to give that to them. So there we go. Look after yourselves, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now. Black Beauty, eh?